It's our weekly conversation with Milwaukee Admirals head coach Karl Taylor. And Coach, good to see you. It's been a while. It seems at the outset of all of this, I thought it would be a busy schedule, a hectic schedule, but it hasn't played out that way. So what has your take been on the schedule? I know there's a lot of practice days, all of that. Would you call it hectic or no?
I don't think it is at all. It's very relaxed. And then usually like this week, Monday, Tuesday were skills days. And so Greg Rallo and Scott Ford come down and help with those days. And I don't commute on those days. So then Wednesday, Thursday, we've had regular practices. Now we're going to play Friday, Saturday. So 1-2 games a week is pretty light. I don't know what went into it all, but it's pretty obvious the NHL wants to keep the American League playing while they're playing, and so they have access to players, they get the development, all the different things we're trying to do. So I think they've tried to extend the season as much as they can to match what the NHL is doing, so they have access to active players over that course of the time.
So you mentioned skills days and regular practices. I'm curious about film work. How detailed is that? I mean, Cleveland on Friday and Saturday is the next opponent for Chicago. How detailed does the film work get? Is that a normal thing?
Yeah, I think what we did was, obviously there's another coaching staff here. So just so we don't double up or do extra work, they're running all the systems and we're allowing them to do that. I'm running the power play, so I do my own stuff for that. The individual players, Scott and Greg, are working looking at culture things and core values for each player. So, if there's a player we think they have to play faster, well, then they're focusing on those issues with our guys when they do their video and watch and go over their shifts, trying to help them improve. As far as system work, we're trying to keep it clean. So Ryan and Patty and Bob, they're going to do video with our guys as well. But it's all system based. It's not development, or it's not based on the player's player profile or what they're trying to do.
It's been a different year, as we all know. Players from the junior ranks in Canada have been playing, but the Western Hockey League has started to call players back. Chicago is going to lose a guy who's been playing really well from the statistics, what I see, Seth Jarvis. I keep thinking that it might be a good thing for those players to be allowed to play in their draft year, but then I think, and you mentioned the word culture, and I think you were using it in a different way, but I think of culture and I think of all the guys, and I'm going to use Cole Schneider as an example, that may be out of a job, all the mid-20s, early 30s-year-old guys that would lose a job. So it's really kind of a catch-22. I know I'm getting really deeper on this than I probably should, but it struck me the other day.
I think the clear message is the junior teams and those agreements, I don't see it ever happening. So the fans and the people out there can recognize it. The other thing is to realize, yes, some of these young kids have done well, but this isn't the true American League that we're used to, generally speaking. It's a little bit younger overall. So it's in between junior and the American Hockey League, what we know it as last year, or we would expect it to be. So it's great. Seth Jarvis is a great player. He's played very well. He's going to have a bright future. Very coachable, got better and better each and every day. Loved being around him. We spent a lot of time talking about power play stuff. I really enjoyed working with him. So I think the end result is the junior teams don't want to lose their stars. That's going to get butts in the seats for selling tickets. And so I don't think you'll ever see that change. I think it's, can it be detrimental sometimes? I don't know if it's detrimental, but there are times when certain players maybe started as a 15-year-old in junior. Maybe it's time that they're there 3 or 4 years. I know we've had a few kids like, Eeli Tolvanen. So Tolvanen comes in as a younger player because of a window in the collective bargaining agreement. We had Julius Honka in Texas, who was in a similar situation. So it does happen, but you have to fall between a certain qualification in the CBA.
Since we spoke last week, and we spoke a lot about Tanner Jeannot last week and the start he was off to in Chicago. Since then, Tanner's made his NHL debut. It looks like he'll be in the lineup tonight. I mean, it's such a great story, and I don't think people have even begun to scrape the surface of how good of a story this Tanner Jeannot story is.
Yeah, you know what? He's everyone's cheering for him. All his coaches he's ever had, because he's an individual. I don't know what his top end is going to be or where he's going to cap out with his hockey playing career, but he's going to hit it. So those are special people that you know are going to maximize everything they have to offer and get the most out of what they have to present and extend their lives or their careers as far as they can. So what a great story. He's Oxbow, Saskatchewan boy, you know, Moose Jaw, grinds it out last year, gets signed as a free agent, goes through the process, gets hurt in his first year, probably hurt his development, the pace of his development, being injured in the first season. You know, had to go in the second year, play a few games in the East Coast Hockey League, came back, had a good season. And then this year, you know, he's just been a leader, probably the de facto captain here in Chicago with how he's presented himself and protected his teammates and looked after everyone here. His game's grown drastically. I was really proud of him. It was probably one of those, we're always proud of all our players that get a chance to go on to the NHL. And, you know, we work with them daily, and if you have a small impact, hopefully maybe you help them get there. The player has to do it in the end, but as a coach, it's a proud moment. And this was the first one that was kind of a little more than proud. Like it was a little extra because, you know, he's a third-year player. We've gone through a lot of stuff together. So I was really excited for him and his family and for him to go through the process. And he's going to get better. I thought his first game he played decent, but you know, there's so many emotions and different things they're dealing with. It's kind of a wash. And so the next time he gets to play, I would expect a more aggressive and more firm Tanner Jeannot.
And who knows what's going to happen in the future with other players. But Rem Pitlick right now is playing very well. He was named the AHL Player of the Month.
Yeah, he's played great. You know, he's a goal a game guy right now. And the stats are always going to be there for Rem. He's going to produce with the skill level and how he works as his craft and how he coaches the game. He's always going to have those opportunities to score or to put up points. And with Rem, our challenge was in different areas, and he's addressed those. You know, he's really trying to adjust. Coming into this situation, I sat with Rem a few times, and we talked about what are the obstacles holding you back from getting to the National Hockey League, and not just playing a game, but being a full-time NHLer and staying there. And so between the two of us and our other assistants, we came up with a few things that we need him to work on. And now he's trying to knock those walls down. And it's great. Player of the Month. It's a great honor. Only one person gets that honor, you know, and then with him getting a look, hopefully he'll get an opportunity to get into the lineup in Nashville as well.
I want to finish with this, because what you said about the challenges that the offense would be there, but it's other challenges for Rem Pitlick. I look at Eeli Tolvanen, and I remember very vividly a conversation you and I had at the airport in Toronto last year, and that's early in the season. That was mid-November. And you said at that point, I have no problem with the way Eeli Tolvanen is playing. And you start to see that, right? You see why he's in the lineup now. And now that he has some confidence and he's doing a lot of those other things, that he can be in the lineup and produce.
Yeah, I thought the last game he played might have been his best game in the NHL, and he didn't score. He didn't get points, but he looked fast on the ice. He was making plays. He looked threatening off the rush. I thought he made his line mates better, and that's areas for Eeli to really focus on.